How's it going, guys? This what if was actually supposed to be done yesterday. It was supposed to be the second what if yesterday, but I decided not to because I didn't have much time, and when I recorded it, it didn't come out so well, so kind of scrapped it. Anyway, I'd like to actually like and subscribe. This is a new what if, kind of testing the waters on this one. If you guys are interested, this is what if Asta was Zoro's reincarnation. We start this what if off with Asta training on the mountain. Then he loses his footing and falls around 40 feet onto his head. He wakes up surrounded by everyone at the orphanage. But they realize there's something different about Asta. Asta is much more quiet. He gives off a more intense aura, basically. He picks himself up, asks what he's doing here. He's told that he fell down. He doesn't really make a comment at that, and asks the priest if he has any sake. The priest quickly declines, seeing as Asta is a child. Why would you give a child some sake? Anyway, he scoffs at this and just walks out. They think there's something strange about Asta. Maybe that he got brain damage from that fall. It was quite a nasty one. Asta makes his way back onto the mountain. He's been feeling kind of strange. He picks up a stick. It feels somewhat right. He swings the stick, and the tree inside his path gets cut in half. He's really confused about this. He didn't even know the movements he just made. It's like there was something inside his head guiding him to swing his blade, or the stick. And now that he realizes it, he realizes that he can feel everything around him. This is a sort of observation hockey, but being really weak because Asta has never trained in it. And everything seems weird. He can feel things meters away from him. Ants on the ground and everything. So he spends most of his time on that mountain training the abilities he just got, as well as his physical strength. His physical strength is ridiculous, seeing as Zoro's physical strength is ridiculous. Asta even picks up a boulder and starts bench pressing it, larger than his body. And after a while, it is about time that everyone gets their grimoires, seeing as Asta and Yuno has just turned 15. They leave and make their way to getting their grimoires. Asta does not receive a grimoire, and Yuno does. However, Asta is not really made fun of or anything because everyone around him is completely terrified of him because he has such a muscular build and everything. He spends some time there, still waiting for a grimoire. This is when he senses that Yuno's in danger. Yuno's being chained up by a magical knight or ex-magical knight. Asta makes his way out. The magical knight throws chains at him and begins mocking him, telling him he's trash without grimoire. Asta grabs the chain and shatters it with his bare hands, telling him that if he's trash, then he's worse than trash. Seeing how weak he is, even with magic, he's not able to defeat him. This is when the 5-leaf clover grimoire comes in front of him, and the handle sticks out. He picks the grimoire from the book. He picks the sword from the book. He realizes that it feels right. The man asks, "What is that?" Asta tells him not to worry about it. It's just a blade that he'll be using to cut him down. The man begins to laugh. He begins laughing at Asta and getting kind of angry with his cockiness. He begins putting his chains toward Asta, but in a quick moment, Asta's in front of him and cuts the man down. He helps Yuno up. He's somewhat excited about his new blade. This is when they begin training, because if he wants to become the magical emperor, it's not going to be easy. He begins swinging the blade around, making sure to keep it nice and level. And his swings become more and more refined. It's like part of his head is showing him and guiding the blade itself. so the movements are so smooth, and he feels like he can cut anything. He stays up here training for a couple of months, going down to the orphanage to get food and water every once in a while. And everyone's pretty curious about what he's been doing up on the mountain. He just says that he's training with his new sword. He continues this until it's about time they head to the capital. This is when Asta takes the blade out and swings the blade and actually cuts off one of the horns from the mountain. This is when part of him inside of his mind says, damn, I'm still too weak. And he makes his way toward the capital. Upon arriving at the capital, Asta is swarmed by the birds, which he quickly scares off, all but one. He decides to let it stay because it has guts. People start making snide remarks, with Asta quickly shutting them down because of his intimidating presence. He begins walking around and accidentally bumps into a man. This is Yami, who grabs Asta by the head, asking him if he wants to die. Asta is unimpressed, grabs Yami by his wrist and quickly pries him off. Yami tells Asta that he's a strong little shit. Asta tells him that he's a pretty strong old bastard. And it's a nice little bond from the beginning. And tells him, Yami then tells him, don't get too cocky or he might kill him. Asta completely ignores this and continues walking, with Yami showing interest in him from this moment on. Just like in the original, Asta fails all of the magical tests. Then we get to sparring. Zeke asks to spar with him, calling him trash and all of his remarks from before. However, Zeke asks Asta to attack with everything he has. But Asta tells Zeke to come at him with everything he has. Zeke begins laughing, asking why this is the case. Asta tells him that he doesn't want to be looked down upon for bullying a weakling. This angers Zeke, who comes at Asta with all the magic he has, with him quickly dodging it with the observation hockey that he's been training. And he says that it's his turn, pulling his grimoire and blade out and swinging at the arena, cutting it completely and cleanly in half, shocking everyone there. They're surprised that this little guy who didn't even seem like he had any magic just split the arena in half with such a clean cut. Surprised at his sword magic. This is when everyone's quiet. Even the captains are stunned. This young man didn't seem to have any promise. The only person who really knew of any of his promise was Yami, from your little encounter only a couple of minutes ago. After this, everything goes as normal. Yuno has his spar where he wins, and everything continues as normal. Yuno picks the Golden Dawn. Asta makes his way up, where he's immediately picked by the Black Bulls. Yami recognizing his presence, and they're a nice fit. Asta then goes to take a shit like in the original, and he leaves with the Black Bulls. Upon arriving, he sees the Black Bulls' home being destroyed by its members. Yami expected him to act a little bit surprised. However, what he does is he walks over to the hungover Vanessa and grabs the bottle out of her hand and begins chugging, saying that he's missed the taste of alcohol for quite a while, and smashes it. That's the end of this part. I hope you like this, I guess. I would like to keep it going, but that's entirely up to you guys. Thank you for the support. It's not very long because